he's going to do the sides. So there's. And we set the line. That's what's different.
Now, for documentation purposes, we may need.
Okay. We'll help you.
How are you?
We need.
Oh, I know
You want me to get my glasses?
No. What we need is a little bit more light in here.
Okay.
He is a school teacher at the junior college, and he went through the 59 pieces of work that were submitted for this show and selected what you see on the walls. And he's going to give a little talk about art and what's on the walls. All right.
This show was called Eyeball Trees. Involving artwork that appeals directly through the visual sense. I didn't require any artist statements. If you can't explain what your artwork is about in a title, then go to the English department and be a writer. That's my attitude. This is what I selected out of the entries. God bless everyone that entered and didn't get in or did get in. There's a certain cutoff point in terms of what I can tolerate. They hired me to make a judgment on this kind of stuff. Are you keep it up with me now? Come on, Cody. Come on, do your stuff. So this is a gallery tour. This is the gallery. This is the hors d'oeuvres. That's the bar, and the men's room is back there. And in the women's room, you have to step up. Be careful. Are there any questions now that we've done with the gallery tour? Okay. This show was called Eyeball Trees, and I was looking for artwork that assaults the visual senses. I'm not sure anything in here really does that, okay? So, and I don't see a heck of a lot of the artists that are actually in the show here, so we can talk about them behind their backs.
Well, some of us you don't know.
Some of the artworks were judged on the basis of a number, and they were just, I didn't know who did some things. Don't know a lot of people. Some things I recognized. Some things I didn't. And so if we start a tour here, you'll notice two small things by the door, which you won't notice, people won't notice when they come in as they're heading towards the bar, the bathroom, or the hors d'oeuvre table. So pay special attention to them on your way out, because they're the small things and they get the small wall space. And this kind of assaults the senses here. It's a nice watercolor. Flowers. Nothing wrong with flowers. I think in the blurb for the show, we weren't looking for gore, overt pornography, or statements on what a dreadful century this has been. Okay. Good Lord willing, everybody here will make it through it, and that kind of thing. So, so we're looking for stuff that's fun or nasty. It doesn't matter. Depends on what kind of mood you're in. But something that communicates visually directly in a nonverbal fashion. This stuff does a lot better in this lighting than it did when I judged it. When I judged it, I kind of walked through there and went, oh, okay. You have a theme for a show, and so people put something in, and then the curator, the judge's job is to put together a show that looks like kind of a modern art show. So I don't ponder subtle personal symbolism. There's 6 billion people on the planet. Nobody has time to sit around and worry about whether somebody's artwork is the good or bad equivalent of a, psychic bad hair day. Mary Cassatt pretty much said it all in the early 20th century. She lived long enough to be an old grunt, and she was invited to Gertrude Stein's house, and she was kind of put off by all this weird new stuff. In her day, 30 years, 40 years before, she had been, hot stuff. And well, you stay around long enough, you're not hot stuff anymore, and things change and things pass on. But what she was, in addition to their bad manners and rude language and hygiene and stuff, she was kind of appalled at this new cubism and semi-cubism and expressionism and all this kind of stuff. And she says, the problem with that, it's all inwardly directed. It's all about in here. So where's the big statements? Where's the big statements out there? And so maybe the big statements are stuff that you can look at. If you want to sit down with me at a bar for 3 hours and tell me your problems, fine. But if you're going to do a painting, put it on the wall, put a 10-word or less title on it, and maybe I can figure it out. Well, I didn't have any titles to look at. I just had to look at this stuff, and I had to basically had to judge what I thought was worth hanging on a wall in a certain context. Whoever did the lighting here, wonderful.
Jay.
Jay,
You ease out for a moment.
come on out here, get on camera. Come on camera. Okay, this is the lighting man here. He did a great job of lighting this stuff.
Very good.
These look like the eyeball treats of whatever was
Glad to make it
presented.
happen. Thank you.
All right, get it? Name, social security number. So you want to pay special attention to the little stuff. Here's your leaf. You come in, and, nice collage, nice little torn edges, and it's got stuff in it that I'm pretty good at this level. It looks okay. It looks like modern art from out here. If you can get up on it, you get some mojo working at the microscopic level. Of course, these things have glass on them. We'll be able to do better with some of the paintings and things. So it just doesn't really focus on stuff. But that's a nice little playful, lyrical collection of torn up pieces of paper. Somebody's having fun. Everybody else was kind of like checking their cell phones and working out their bills and all that kind of stuff. Somebody's having fun. Somebody's getting away with tearing up pieces of paper with splattered paint on them and just putting them together. Now that's more fun than grown adults are generally allowed to have in this country at this day and time here. So I kind of liked it. I like the composition. There's color. We'll be talking about some really morose looking things over there. But that's a nice little thing. And here's a nice little explosion. It's a watercolor. My God, do you mean Hubert accepted a watercolor? Yes, flowers, vegetable genitalia. It's plant life on the disco circuit. Ready to roll. They're dressed to the nines, and they're concerned about closing time. Here, see, so that's a nice thing there. You could put a loop up on it. If we get the glass off on this, we could see some awful nice stuff happening at this level. Here's your abstract expressionism right here. See the color interaction. That's all it is shape and color relationships. And since we're talking about painting, and since there was so little sculpture, where in the heck is the drawing? Come on, where's the drawing? Where's the photography? Where's the printmaking? Well, printmaking is dead. It's almost as dead as painting is. But where's the drawing? Who's dragging charcoal across a piece of paper and saying nice stuff here? So I'm going to talk about the the pluses and the minuses of this show. It looks real good in here. It looks like an art show to me now. And I had to look at this stuff like stacked against the wall here. So let's go around here, and that's a crazy little thing here. You go out and you pay $12 for a tube of red, and then you muddy it up with something so that it, oh gosh, we don't want to be too happy, because we've got so many problems. Well, here's somebody just laying color out there, laying some line out there, and just bam. This particular computer thing here, and everybody knows what a fan I am of technology. This was one of 3 submissions. And basically the other 2 were your primary and secondary, what you get off the computer screen, what they'll tell you. But I bet I can put my loop up on this area right here and see some awful interesting stuff here. Oh yeah. There's impressionism in here working here. Color separation, this kind of stuff. So this is the one that stood out amongst the 3. The other 3 were just, let's screw around with a $3,000 paintbrush and make something boring that comes out of the tube here. And having said that, then I can say, well, somebody just took something pretty much right out of the tube, and that's okay too. Because I think in the blurb it said there's only 2 rules. You got to give them something to look at, and you have to make it up. And there's nothing in here that I haven't seen before. Okay? This show is a failure. It's some kind of innovative, cutting edge, putting Pensacola on the map, unless a fundamentalist Christian comes in here with a machine gun and mows half of us down. This show ain't gonna make it into Art America or anything like that. Okay? So it's all been done. Duchamp pretty much ended it all as far as art history goes. So all you can do is, he gave us the freedom to do whatever the heck we want to, whenever we want to, when we feel like it. And it's all art. As he said, there's no solutions because there isn't any problem. This is all unnecessary. We can get along without art. We can close all the art schools, all the universities. And somebody out there is going to be wrapping tinfoil around driftwood, or marking up the surface, or digging in the sand, or they're going to be making art. I'm just glad I've gotten through a teaching career pretending to be an art teacher when there really isn't any need for any, because everybody's going to be messing with something. Everybody's been messing with something, putting straw together in the baskets, making bowls for, 30,000 years. They erected scaffolding in the old caves 30,000 years ago. That wasn't anything, they just weren't sitting around freezing to death and idly doodling around on the wall. They put scaffolding up so they could get 30 feet up in the air to do a buffalo on the ceiling of a cavern. They were serious about it. They were serious about it then, and none of them have a degree. And it's some of the best drawing that there ever was. So we go to this one, and we're talking about eyeball treats and things that assault the senses. Well, this thing is like, it's a low-key, no faces, very primal kind of, and it doesn't even have the color of a Bernard. It's like low-key Bernard on a real bad day when he's feeling bad. However, how many of these, hors d'oeuvre, like this may be an art show, it may be somebody's house, but how many events at somebody's home with hors d'oeuvre tables and parties and things that you went to? How many of these events have you gone to where you, well, we have to go. Okay, so let's go. And there's these people around that maybe you like, maybe you don't, but you've done it a million times. Maybe you've seen them 3 times in the last week. So I looked at this and I thought, well, no, this doesn't really assault the eyes, but it really nails the kind of event this is. It's kind of an anonymous cocktail party sort of thing, and people are loading up with food and things like this. So the technique and the approach to texture and flat shape is very appropriate to the kind of anonymous cocktail situation that we find ourselves in so often. So I put that in. And there was another one that was a street scene done in the same way, but it was a European street scene. It was done in kind of the same technique. Well, shoot, if you're in Europe, let's go, you know, if you're on vacation, my God, you pay all that money. Let's have this kind of a time, for Pete's sake. Okay, or let's have this kind of a time. It's a crazy little Matisse-like thing. Gets away with utilizing 2 or 3 different paint application techniques, which is always dangerous. Might look like a quilt. You'll be able to cut out that extraneous noise once you have the tape. Ready to go now? Okay. So, kind of an interesting thing. I sort of remember the other one that was submitted that was kind of like this, and just didn't come off as well with the color interaction and the contrast and the pattern. It's been done before. It was done 90 years ago, I believe. I think Matisse did this 90 years ago. So we're, once again, history repeats itself, as it has done for about 75 years. We're in a Mannerist period. There may be some geniuses working at the technological level that will get us into the 21st century. Some of you will see a good bit of the 21st century. Some of us won't see too much of it, because we earned our stars living through the 20th century. This is kind of a nice abstract expressionist thing, and I think this particular person turned in 3 things of a totally different nature. So this is the thing about a juried show. Okay, it's like betting on a horse.
Yeah.
Okay, I like this one to win. I'll place this one to show, and then I'll box a trifecta on these 3, and I'll do an exacta kind of thing. And this person may have another one in the show. I don't know, but I sort of like the gutsy nature of the paint handling. It has, of course, been done before, sometime in the 50s, which for some people is ancient history, and for other people it's just like yesterday. And this is the kind of stuff that got everybody cranked up. And you could even say that there were these German expressionists 75 years ago did this, so none of us were around when this kind of painting developed, but it's there. I'd like to take a brush to a few areas in here, like finish it up a little bit. That's my job as a school teacher, is to look for the sour note. Take that A+ painting and say, well, yeah, that's a great painting, but man, could you soften that edge there and put a little red over there? It's my job, just like a music teacher's job is to, when they're teaching somebody how to do something, is to look for the sour note. There's a few sour notes in here, but it's not bad. It's your basic tortured expressionist figure. Okay? So nothing new there. Oh, mercy. Oh, it's been a rough century. Now, what's the number of this one? 24. Adam Cook. The silence at the heart of the screen. Okay, acrylic on canvas. Good handling of acrylic paint. I'm an acrylic painter, and there's this big war against the Bolsheviks and the Mensheviks about oil versus acrylic. Well, if you know your medium, you can make it do whatever you want it to do. So it's a nice painterly thing. Now, I at the risk of being offensive here, I took it to be a female figure at first. It's supposed to be a male figure, I was told secondhand. Adam's not here, so we can talk about him behind his back. Now this looks like some kind of nuclear holocaust victim. bomb's been dropped. That's the one stupid thing we didn't do this century, is annihilate the planet. Yeah, of course, we got a couple more years. And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to maybe offend a few people, but I'm looking at this figure, and I'm going, oh my God, man, it's awful. This appears to be some irradiated woman reacting to the fact that the world's been destroyed. All the men, having been in charge, have ruined everything. There's no men around, so this is one last act of masturbation on the part of a female dying. Okay? Now, if you find that offensive, I'm sorry, but this is one, I mean, they're looking for something. That arm's looking for something, and there's this ominous background. I think I'd glaze over this a little bit. When he gets here, I'll tell him to glaze over this white a little bit and bring the figure out, maybe put a little bit more color in there. But that's the art teacher in me. I'll look for this out. Oh, I remember this one. This is, the first time I looked at this, I thought, my God. It's like Hans Hoffman and Leroy Neiman do lunch. You want to talk about paint out of the tube? Leroy Neiman is the worst hack, as far as I'm concerned, that ever lived. Paint out of the tube, sports, crapple kind of stuff. And so this is right out of the tube stuff. And then there's this Hans Hoffman-ish sort of angularity in there. And I thought, okay, anybody that could put those two, anybody that could host a luncheon or do a, put those two together at the same table and not have them get in a fist fight, assuming they were the same age and fighting the same weight class. So yeah, I put that one in there just because of that. There's color there. There's nobody watering it down and making it wimpy. There's nobody turning into some kind of dark, morose sort of statement about anything. This is dark and morose, but it's out there. You can see it. And it has, I don't know what that arm is grabbing at. I don't know why, what's going on here, but it's like, it leaves, and it's allowable now. I don't like it so much, but the finished product is in the hands of the viewer in the 20th century. Oh, I just do these things. The artists just do these things, and you can make your own interpretations of what you think. Crap. Lay it down there and all that kind of stuff. But this does open itself up to various interpretations. And then we talked about this one. This is if you're going to rip somebody off, do it well. This is a great Matisse. It's a great Matisse. And you can hang that over any piece of furniture in your house, assuming the color coordinates, of course. It's very important when buying art that it fit in with your decor. No, that's a great Matisse, good composition, and I will freely admit this was done in one of my classes. I knew it was done in one of my classes under my supervision, but I had forgotten the person's name, so it was there. I sort of knew who did it. It's a nice painting. It's out there. It's got your old flat yet ambiguous 20th century space and everything. This is a nice one right here. It's a nice painting. So we look around at some of these other morose, crazy, peculiar, dark imagery, and what's up with the still life painting? Who cares about that kind of stuff? Well, if those flowers up there are vegetable genitalia, then these are what? Ovaries, they're fetuses, they're whatever. That's what we eat. These potential trees and things, and the nutritive tissue that goes around the seed core. And she submitted 3 things of fruit. And this was the best painted. Is she here? No, when she gets here, I'll tell her how to finish the other 2. Okay? There's a little bit of trickery going on in the shadows, a little bit of subtlety here. There's some caretaking with the background, and you're gonna argue with an orange or a tangerine, a good tangerine, the taste of it. See, taste is in here, but we're doing this. Now, when you can do this and taste the tangerine or the orange or whatever, then you got it. That's the visual impact of a painting. Certainly get it there. Lord, and then we had this thing here. Look at it. It's peculiar. I looked at this thing and I thought, kind of a modernized version of Gumby. And what's the number on this thing? 19?
President's back.
I got your back, Mr. President. Okay, so this is your secret agent man, all this kind of stuff here. It's like Gumby got a job. And you're supposed to walk around behind and look at this thing. That's why I put it over here. There's probably nicer, more interesting visual information on the back of this with the braids and the cast shadows. Once again, our lighting man did the deed here. Looks as good from behind as it does from the front. And then there's all kinds of trickery in here and subtle symbolism and faces looking back and forth that I don't have time to deal with. So, is this artist here? Where are the artists? They're all out, they're drunk somewhere, or they're afraid I'm saying something bad about their painting. So when they get here, Eloise, you drag them over here. And every artist should be made to stand by their painting all night long and answer to it. I'll answer to what I picked, and I'll fist fight anybody in here. But then if anybody who did something that's in here, but just stand by your painting. As you notice, we don't have much sculpture here, so there's a lot of room to stand around and talk and stuff. We got stuff to sit down on. We'll save it. We'll save that. Oh Lord, here's this Basquiat does lunch with Philip Guston kind of stuff that apparently is some form of bacteria infecting University of West Florida. Well, their job as a senior institution is to chase art magazines and to stay as close to what's happening right now in terms of visual whatever. So look at this presentation. Look at that. I say I rejected one that was so badly presented of this person that it looks a lot better under light. The next time I judge a show down here, will somebody give me some light to look at rather than piling up against the wall? I don't know. It looks like modern art to me. You know, and of course, you're supposed to read into, if you want to see Alice in Wonderland or The Never-Ending Story or Beowulf or some kind of erotic kind of sort of stuff, go ahead. You're allowed. It's a phase. I know this person, ex-student of mine. It's a phase you have to go through. And then maybe whatever next phase is will be more intelligible. She's not here either. Where are the artists? Gutless weenies. They were allowed to get here this early while the hors d'oeuvres are still here and stuff, and they're not standing beside their work. Where are they? Where are those suckers? They paid their money. I would think they'd show up early for the cheap borrow. It's an interesting paint handling, surface technique, and I certainly have talked about that enough with this person. Needs to be varnished. Needs a more consistent surface to it. What does it mean? I don't know. It's not my job. I don't have time. Looks like modern art. This is Pensacola. People need to see one place in the city where there's something that looks like, appears to be, quacks like a duck, craps like a duck, and walks like a duck, and looks like a duck, so therefore it might be modern art. So there's got to be one place in the city where this stuff is shown. So okay, here we go. Here's your modern art stuff. So read into it what you want. I kind of like it. I don't know what it means. I don't care. And I'm not, when she finally shows up here, I'm not going to stand around for 20 minutes and listen to an explanation about what it means. She's got about 20 seconds to tell me what all this is about. This is a nice piece of sculpture here. Kind of put it over in the corner. Sculpture is meant to be looked at all the way around, but this one is more meant to be looked at from the front. But there's enough room to peek around from behind. And then if you want to peek out, you can, kind of thing. See what this spirit figure is, looking at. And these eyeballs are kind of good from behind too. In fact, I look real good reflected in these eyeballs right here. That's a shot, but Clifford, there's not room for both of us back here, so we can't get that. It's one of those lost shots. Okay, what's this number? When he gets here, I'm gonna take him out in the street and just pistol whip him. Duncan Stewart.
He's not even here.
He's not even here. Well, he's an old guy, you know. He's probably taking a nap or something. So he's out of West Florida. This is a student out of West Florida. So you see where this lugubrious type of abstract expressionism comes from. They're all on the same drugs. They need the prescription changed, kind of thing. This is another Philip Guston does lunch with Basquiat. So out of the UWF, they're chasing magazines. That's their job as junior and senior year teaching institutions. They got to try to get them up to what was happening 3 years ago or 2 years ago or whatever. That's they of course dump on us because we teach people archaic things like 1 and 2 point perspective and 2D design and things, and then they teach them stuff like this. It's okay. It's kind of interesting thing. It's not typical of him, but he's not here. He's not here. So Duncan Stewart's. This is the sorriest painting, and Duncan Stewart's the biggest coward weenie that ever lived. And when he rolls in here after 4 happy hours, then we'll all just lambaste him for this kind of stuff. It's interesting. It looks like modern art. Okay, it's one of these things that it's like that thing over there kind of looks like modern art, but it kind of looks like that Hoffman does Leroy Neiman. That looks like bad modern art. It's really on the edge. It's really on the edge. But then Kandinsky, who is generally credited as being the first abstract artist, he said he liked to walk a fine line on the edge of kitsch. He wanted to be tacky, just on the edge of tacky. And that's, I don't know, that's on the edge of tacky over there, but it's okay. It's okay. It's like on just this side. It isn't falling off the edge. It's not something, well, you might see it in a gifty shoppy somewhere. An artsy craftsy gallery, of which Pensacola has so many. But it's on this side of the edge. Let's see. Let's put a loop up on some of the stuff that we actually put a loop up on. Okay, now this is why I probably put this thing in here, because if you look at this, there's some stuff going on here at the molecular level that's pretty interesting stuff. The overall thing, the big picture, but the little picture, Once while traveling across the sky. This lovely planet caught my eye. Well, we got photography here. Which is, of course, only people's notion of reality. Photography is an interesting, it's vital to us. It makes things real. See, the first president of the United States is not George Washington, because he's just on a dollar bill, and there's some Stewart, what's Gilbert Stewart, whatever it is, paintings of George Washington, and there's a lot of historical documentation, people writing things that George Washington existed, and we've got it in the history record, but there's no photograph of George Washington. But there is a photograph of Andrew Jackson as an elderly man. So as far as most people's concept of reality is, in terms of photography, Andrew Jackson is our first president because he's the first one that took a picture, a photograph of him. Yeah, that's the dude, got the big white hair, you know, Mighty Mississippi and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, okay. There's a photograph of him. He's real. So we got photography here. So photography tries to run away from this notion here, but this is an eyeball treat. This is gorgeous color, good composition. Does it have any inherent spiritual meaning? Well, just stand up here and look at one of these colors and see if it talks to you. Nice looking photograph. What can I say? You got your color interaction, you got shape and color interaction. It's a painting, and that's all. If black and white photography is drawing with light, color photography is drawing, painting with light. You know, and that's all it is. Yeah. You're just painting. You're just painting. You can sit around through the miracle of technology and computers and some techno grunt sitting in a computer, and you sitting behind them. You can turn your color into anything you want to. So it's not a question of what you know about photography. It's what you know about color, color interaction. It's all shape and color relationships. We have no drawing in this show. Where are the drawers? The mother of everything. Painting is a very small subset of drawing. Drawing is here, and then there's architecture, painting, sculpture, everything else. If you're going to build a building, architects like to, you know, they're at the top of the heap. Yeah, I'm bad. Yeah, I build big buildings and all this kind of stuff. Well, they draw them first. And anybody getting beyond the level of I-beams and anything that weighs over 20 pounds or is 6 feet long, better be drawing this stuff out or they're going to kill themselves holding this stuff around, or bust a gut, drop a nut, get a hernia, whatever, carrying this stuff around. So you better learn how to draw. So where's the drawing here? Where's the eyeball treats in the drawing? So we're you know, and all these people are drawing or doodling. Everybody draws. You go out to the beach and you draw on the sand with a stick. You doodle on the telephone, talk to somebody else that you don't really want to talk to, but so you're making swirls and you know, kind of like this stuff here. This is the ugliest painting you can show right here.
That's my watch.
Is that your painting? God bless you. Get out there and just let it rip. Yeah, that's sort of a nice paramecium, what you'd see in the groundwater around here, kind of a thing.
Molecule.
Yeah. This one lends itself well. Close observation. Wow! You cheated and you used some day glow paint in here because there's two little green things sticking right out here.
Day-Glo.
It's not day glow?
No.
No fluorescent?
No, none.
You're a genius. Oh wow, there's glitter down here. You cheated down here. Yeah, okay. You cheated. But that's good looking stuff right there, see. And the whole thing kind of ties together. Kind of meshes nice. That's what you're looking for, is this. That's what we're all looking for, right? Some kind of unity, some kind of mesh. So, yeah, that was in there. I had to look at that one a long time. They lit it well. It's up on a wall. Look how it looks on a vertical surface rather than leaned against something
Looks better.
inside of a frame. You know. Looks like art to me. Easy stuff. This thing here. I looked at it. Is the artist here? Will he admit it?
Yes.
Where? You're okay. All right, you're here. All right. And I looked at this thing and I went, oh God. And then I saw these lily pads here. See, and I'm thinking, I'm thinking Monet. Not late Monet with the big flat two things, but I'm looking at kind of like 1890s Monet water lilies and all this kind of stuff. And by that time, he quit doing figures for about 10 years. He hadn't done any figures by a certain point in time. And I'm looking at this piece of sort of crude, primitively rendered archaic sculpture, and then some weird perspective down here. And then I'm thinking, oh, God, that's That's awful. And I look at this and I figure, well, Monet, by that time, was into a totally different kind of perspective. He wasn't into linear perspective. He was in an entirely different kind of space. He's a very important transitional figure, along with Cezanne, in terms of 19th century pictorial space and 20th century pictorial space. So I'm thinking this old bearded guy with a cigarette dangling down in his beard, about ready to set his face on fire at 85. And when he did the big water lily paintings, and Clemenceau got him to do that. The Premier of France got him off his butt and said, go ahead, keep on painting, you got nothing else to do. Now, suppose Monet, after 30 years, had done figures and had tried perspective, traditional perspective again. He'd have probably screwed it up. So this looks like a late Monet figurative painting here, kind of thing. And I thought that was an interesting juxtaposition. And if we could get this glass off of here and get up on it, I know we'd see some, oh yeah, okay, this glass is pretty close to the surface. Yeah, there's some nice stuff going on in there. And even if we look at this peculiar rendered figure here, yeah, there's some nice stuff going on in there. You got some glass, let's see if it's on the outside. You got some dust on the outside here. Oops. It's on the inside of the glass. You're gonna have to take it out of the glass and get the dust out of there. Oh, here's photography again. Here's modern photography. Where is he? Is he here? See? They're all like getting tanked before they come over here, so they get an attitude here. Okay, so how many multiple exposure overlays of various kinds of imagery and photography do we have to look at? And several were submitted, and I've seen a lot more work by this person, and he's a dear friend of mine, and all of that. But if anybody thinks I'm going to take the time to, okay, oh, naked babe, and then tie it in with this obscure kind of, this overlays of maps and things, fine. If you have the time tonight, feel free. I don't. But it's interesting. It's the most colorful, readable, least cliche-ish entry here, and so I brought this in here. Now I'm going to talk about these two together, done by two different people. This person did this lugubrious painting over here, so this is a little bit happier painting. Once again, the same sort of purposely crude, primitive, childlike, abstract expressionist, surrealist. We're living in a Cuisinart age of art. See, Duchamp ended it all, so whatever you do is some sort of combination or variation. All you can do is do it well. So, and this one looks a lot better under light too. If I had some paint, I'd finish it. But so we got this big thing. Well, size counts. This is America. Quantity counts. Just ask a Texan. Wallet, car, genitalia, size counts. Big or small, whatever. And so what could you hang next to a big gall-dang painting, a big modern art painting here? Well, this is an ornery little thing here. This is nasty. This is number 15. What's this called?
Welcome home.
Welcome home. Yeah, I've been there. Oh, I've been there. Yes, indeed. Now they need to varnish this. They need to get a little gloss on this surface. They need to finish it off here, whoever did this. Is this artist here?
No,
That's terrible.
he was here.
Huh?
He was here.
Was here and he left in disgust. Huh? Good. No, that's an ornery little thing, and it's very appropriate. It's if it was a little glossy, like greasy faced, if they had some varnish on it, it's like if you had some highlights on it, it would be like cold cream. It would be even more appropriate. Welcome home. Yeah, I've seen that before.
She probably left.
That's a nice little thing. See, that's the only little thing that could blow a little big thing like this off the wall. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna hang here? You know, so an ornery little number there works pretty well. This is This is sort of a failed misinterpretation of Cubism here, but it's pretty. It works. You can imagine this over a couch in a museum, or you can imagine wandering through some museum somewhere in Des Moines, and this would be kind of a Cubist thing without the brown varnish on it, and then the age and everything, so kind of a freshened version. Nice composition. Positive doesn't have much to do with negative, so it's sort of cubistic in nature, but it doesn't really do the trick. Who's rattling cellophane while I'm talking? Put that down. Obviously, you haven't taken one of my classes. I'm sorry. It's never worked. You do that, I'm gonna walk around you all night long.
I've let them eat candy in class, I'm sorry, you know, it's just one of those things.
And it's not the candy. I don't care if you're shooting heroin.
I draw the line there, y'all.
I don't care what it is, just don't make any noise. All right, so here we got your basic.
Was all the lines somewhere?
So what's the deal here? Why would I take something like this and something like nuclear Holocaust masturbation over there in the same show? Well, that's because I'm that kind of a guy. I can take it all. You know, it all works. This one, it's got one of them spiffy double mats, so I won't be able to. Yeah, it's looks pretty good, but I can't focus on it. This thing looks like a print. This looked like a gift shop print when I first saw it. Like something that's been over and over and over again, and it's a little kid and. But it's got some lovely stuff happening at the low. So if you look at this one, get your nose up on it. Got some nice stuff working just in here. You know, probably cut this thing up into like about 16 squares and move them around, and you probably have your modern art thing working. You know, get the composition working. And there's nothing wrong with kids. Well, you know. God, it made me think there is, but it's a nice technique. I like what's happening just at the splatter level, the freedom kind of application sort of thing. This is sort of a direct, one-shot, control sort of approach to color and paint application that these poor abstract painters, they'll just paint over and 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 over because they just can't concentrate. They drink too much. She doesn't, but that is so direct that it looks like some kind of a print, but it's just right there, see? And it captures the spontaneity and the action of the moment, and it's okay. I could give me just a little bit of acrylic and matte medium, I'd finish it off better and knock the color back a little bit. Oh, and then there's this thing. My God. I looked at this thing and I said, well, that's all. And then I realized that I scrape stuff. Yeah, that's yours. Well, I scrape stuff off of my palette. That's acrylic, right? I scrape stuff off my palette and hang it up on the wall all the time. And hang. I've got veils and I've got sculptures out of the stuff that you scrape off the palette. I'm not sure you're quite there yet on this kind of stuff, but this is your sort of petri dish sort of imagery, microscopic, paramecium, amoeba kind of stuff happening there, and it's on its way, and you daubed on some paint pretty thick, and then you just laid on these scraped off bits of crud off your palette, and it all kind of works. It all kind of works. So, it's okay. And here's an eyeball treat. You see this? This thing better be filled up when you leave. If you came here for dollar cocktails, get your ass out. Okay? You pay big money. You know you're going to go, if you walk down the end of the alley, you go over to Dharma's, you're going to pay $5 for a martini. Okay? Something like that. You're going to pay $3 or $4. Now you can put a couple of bucks in here at least for everything you drink. And anybody under 21, just stay away from this table unless you drink Coca-Cola, because this place, if you wrap yourself around a telephone pole, this is a co-op gallery, can't be sued. Who are you going to sue? Lenin, Stalin, whatever. They don't exist. So you kids stay away from it. But we want everybody else, you pay top dollar. Here, here's another eyeball treat here. Man, no, this is a sorry sight here. Oh, there's a $10 in there. Do you see this thing? I have to stay here till 10 o'clock tonight. I better see green up to about here. This better look like the salad bar at Best Western by the time you get out of here. If you're out watching some stupid Hollywood movie at the mall right now, you'd be, what's it cost to get in the movie now? $7? $6, $7? To look at some kind of jive, and you're down here killing time in between happy hours and stuff. If you're going to hang around here and drink, and you're going to see some artwork and stuff, then we better see this thing filled up here. And if you're going to hang around here, then you better join. You don't have to be an artist to be a member of this place. And another thing, you're sitting around here with nothing to do, they need people to help out down here. Okay? An eyeball treat can't be seen if there's nobody here to watch the gallery. So, if you're going to wander through here tonight, I'm going to stand pretty much by that door, just a little bit inside, a little bit outside that door. I'm going to watch what kind of money's put in there, and I'm going to watch what kind of money's put in here. And I brought my bare knuckles with me. And we better see some people sign up memberships tonight. And we better see some money in here. That's a $10 bill in there. Let's, you know, the people that are watching the gallery, let's give them something to pilfer so they can go over to Dartmouth and have a nice lunch for watching this damn place all day long and not miss the fun. So let's give them something to pilfer just a little bit here. So let's have some new members. That's the eyeball treat. This is America. That $10 bill is the best looking thing that's in here. Oh,
Yes. Better get
is this artist here?
Yes.
Where is she?
Don't you dare.
What?
Because I'm an old lady, so watch it. And I've been around.
Oh, can you take me? Yeah. All right. Okay, get this on film. We're gonna.
If I can get something, because I'm in the elderly.
Yeah. Okay. Now you stay inside. Now, here. Now, okay. Now, if you don't like what, oh, I have to talk about this stuff too. Man, I'm tired. Oh, God. I feel a lot better now. Somebody bring me my drink. Where's my drink? I put my drink over there. Somebody took my drink.
They're waiting for the donation to be given.
It's in there, $2.
Sure.
It's in there, and somebody took my drink. Oh, right. That's terrible. Well, I was going to use that table and put it down. So we can talk about two things at once. Yeah, just give me a Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. Okay, we'll talk about this first, and then we'll talk about the big treat. Here. All right, painted furniture. Like there isn't 100,000 people in the country doing painted furniture. Is the painted furniture person here? Will they admit it? Okay, so I'm looking at, oh no, not more painted furniture, faux furniture. And I thought, well, then I saw the coordinated pattern on the bottle and the one chair, and then the coordinated pattern on the table in this chair. And I thought, oh, okay, there's some attempt at cohesiveness here. Now, I don't know if this is varnished or not, but if this thing is worth a damn as a craft item, I ought to be able to put this drippy, wetty glass down there on that table and use it as a prop. I don't know if this is craft or if it's art, but I can put my butt cheeks on it, so it's a useful item. Okay. Now, so that's why I took this. And had there been more artists here, had all these cowards not hung back until about 9:30, I'd have set this up and I'd have made every one of the people sit down here and you explain this crazy stuff here. Oh, I think we have to talk about that one over there, but let's talk about the big tree. Wait a minute here, wait a minute. I believe the artist that just did this walked in here. Is there someone named Pulliam in here at this point? Okay, come on, get over. Get over. Is this supposed to hang this way? That's all we want to know. Okay, now you did this thing as a horizontal, right?
Yeah.
But you decided to turn it vertical. Is there any reason for that?
Yeah.
Could you expound on it?
It looks better
See,
that
we
way.
did, it looks better that way? That's all we need. See, this visual art stuff is, it looks better that way. No, that's a reclining nude, and if you want to see how it was actually done, then you're looking at it that way. If you need to see a figure, if you need narrative information, then you're going to have to strain your neck muscles a little bit. Or we can turn it horizontal. But the same person that did this one did that peculiar bit of business over in the corner there. That red, orange, blue thing there. And, okay, that takes care of that. That's a nice, strong image. It cuts a fine line between 2 dimensions and 3 dimensions. If you give me $100, I'll finish it for you. There's a few little things that need to be done to that one, but that looks pretty good. How many of these have you done? Have I seen this one before? Well, how many have you done? 3. Do about 30 more. Okay. Is this oil paint here? Okay, we'll talk. Remind me of that.
Things wrong with it.
Okay, this is a visual treat here, this orange thing here. And of course, the nuclear Holocaust masturbation scene, big eyeball getter. And there's a few other things around here. This thing's kind of low key. It looks like kind of a 30s, one of those 30s school painters. And I was looking at this thing, and oh, it's the old murder scene trick, backlit. It's the film noir. Film noir. And then I looked at the figure on the ground, and I see this light coming in underneath all the parts of the body. So it lends itself to about 3 or 4 different interpretations. Okay, here's a couple of dicks, as they used to call them, detectives. And it's 1935, and this is a murder scene. I don't know, don't say anything. I don't know whether it is or not. And yet, she's kind of rigid. Now, is she freshly dead and been arranged by a serial killer? Is it Chicago? It looks like Chicago, 1935. And is she frozen in this position, having fallen down? Or are these a couple of customers? These are a couple of customers, and they're just going to get it on. They're going to close the deal on the sidewalk here at night. Or is she just some kind of homeless, crazy person just kind of laying down on the ground, taking a little rest, and they've known her and they're just talking to her. Now, this is the 3rd time this week we've found you drunk underneath the viaduct here. Now, it's time to get up and go home. Now, are they going to reach over and rape her? Are they going to reach over and kill her? Is she dead already? Is she frozen to death after having been murdered, or just fallen down? Or she just might be sitting there, how you like me now? Kind of thing. So it lends itself, it's a very stark image that lends itself to a variety of narrative interpretations, not unlike Eric Fischel, who does narrative figure painting now. I believe his first name is Eric. Somebody can correct me on that. If you can, that's what it is. This is oil paint. I'm an acrylic painter. And the problem with oil paint is you get these glossy surfaces and then matte surfaces. And then when do you varnish these things into some kind of uniform matte surface? And that's what bothers me about oil paint. Because the oil painters think they're big dogs, and they think the acrylic painters are like...
That's I think is one of the things that I don't like about the paint.
Well-
I don't like them, though in certain lights it looks all right. Most lights it doesn't. And that's a definite error.
This painting won't stand, well, it will paint, it'll stand a loop right back here. Yes, there, ooh, that looks good.
Yeah.
But see if you had some varnish, now not gloss varnish, I'm talking about matte varnish or some kind of semi-gloss varnish on it. It brings out whatever subtle colors in there without having white highlights all over it.
Now,
Well, if you can, I'm not an oil painter, so that's your job. Find out a luster varnish and then figure out how long you have to wait before you can varnish oil paint that's that thick. So I never wanted to worry about that kind of stuff, but you can sure put a loop on this and, ooh, there's your Franz Kline, there's Monet, there's Kandinsky, there's everybody's there. I take a little bit of issue with how you treated the edges on this thing, just in terms of draftsmanship. But then again, where's the drawing? We don't see any around here. See? And then all this is drawing with a stick and gooey stuff with hair on the end of it. So it's just drawing. So I would take issue with the handling of some of the edges, and I think a little subtle color could be thrown in the black. That's the art teacher in me. That's the dumbbell junior college art teacher in me. And then the glossy versus matte. But this is an image that lends itself to a variety of interpretations. You just walk up, oh, brutality towards women, murdered prostitute, blah. You're selling the painting short. It could be, she could be down there telling them a joke. Or like I said, closing a deal. But it's a chilly place to be doing any of this kind of stuff. And so that's why I picked that. That kind of jumped out. There's some eyeball treats around here. That's an eyeball treat. That's an eyeball treat. That's just an affront to everything here. An eyeball treat doesn't have to be fun. That's an eyeball treat, but they don't have to be fun. They can be nasty, but give them something to look at and kind of make it up. And so this is as close as what we got out of 59 entries. This is as close as I could come to whatever the heck this theme was, but this was eyeball treats, and there's not anything that assaults my senses to the point that I would have liked to have seen. But looks like an art show to me. Donation, bin, membership, hors d'oeuvres, bar. Any questions about anything? Anybody want to step outside and fist fight? No? Oh, I could take you. All right, I could take you. What? Okay, we got a question? Everybody shut up.
Just as a matter of interest, comparing your description, what are some of your favorite artists that you like personally?
What are some of my favorite artists? Oh, I like a little bit of everybody and not too much of any one thing. Like I use the term, somebody does lunch with somebody. I like a lot of different people. There's not much I don't like. And it's taken me 30 years to get to that point. I mean, I slept through all my art history classes just like any dutiful art history student does. Triglyphs and metopes and Romanesque and all that, you just... But then after a while, if you keep an open mind and if you keep coming back to it, and if you keep messing with stuff, if you keep making marks on a wall or messing around with your hands and doing stuff, after a while, it's all art. It doesn't... I like everybody. Best paint handler that ever lived was John Singer Sargent. I don't know. I couldn't boil it down to a top 10 list.
I was just curious.
Yeah, no, I like everybody. And when I hung the show, I've never hung a show before. I've never even framed anything before, so I don't even know what's supposed to go on outside the picture plane of a painting. I know there's good ways and bad ways to frame something. I have no taste whatsoever, as you probably gathered. And so I don't know about framing and I don't know about hand, but I did want it to hang things which were different from one another and space them so that they didn't get too close together. That's all. There's a variety of things here. I can't, like the blurb said, I can't be shocked. You can't show me anything that's going to offend me. You can't show me anything that I haven't seen before, somehow or another, or imagined before. So you just take what you get. And so if you, whatever art historical references I made was a pretty wide range. I talked about the cave painters, and I talked about Basquiat, who just overdosed about 5 or 6 years ago. So we're talking a 30,000 year range of what I like, certain people I don't like, but why spend a nice thing. Drawing and painting.
But old ladies, I live far away, but I like to I think I'm a drawer.
People a lot older than you.
I have a lot of drawings. I didn't know. You know,
Everybody, I currently have students from 17 to 71.
but I'm a drawer.
Pears.
Hi, Shannon. How are you doing? Nice to meet
Okay, Clifford, the movie's over. Cut, print.
At 4 o'clock, she'll be getting this. Hope she
Eric,
says yes.
Are you sure you want to do this?
One warning.
There's got to be one guy here that says, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Nothing personal, Amy. You're a great gal.
Sorry about the black eye. From Miami, you want to think about that seatbelt. The things we do for love. Becky has the camera. I don't mind.
Yeah, I wish this would happen to me someday. I think I can get
Judy.
You better watch it. I'll take you away.
Just kidding. Just kidding. No, Judy.
That is so neat. I'm so tickled for you. Let's see. So after this, you can set a date, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll get the house and then we'll set a date, or set the date and
You
get
already-
the house.
Have you already been looking for houses?
Yeah.
Oh, got one in there?
Well, we've been shopping.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Okay.
This thing
Any day now,
keeps poking it.
I don't like this. I like him on pictures, not me. So that's neat.
Oh.
Are you gonna get down on your knees?
Oh yeah.
Will you get back up? without making a fool of yourself? You won't fall.
He's filming you, you know.
Oh no!
This
We
is
can
gonna
edit
be
that.
real- Yeah, please do. Edit me right out of it. That is so good, dude. So you're just gonna
Is that your other
pop
profession?
the question.
Let me see the ring.
It's
Let's
beautiful.
see.
It's really pretty.
Oh my gosh.
So y'all went and looked together?
Lovely.
Who was it?
Oh, that is
A friend of mine was telling me the other day, a guy that
She is really gonna like that sucker. Is this taking the sound too?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Is it?
was.
Now, when you say sucker, you're talking about the ring and not me.
Oh, that's lovely. How long did it take you to pick that baby out?
I don't know. Too long, probably.
How long have you been dating?
Almost 2 years.
It's not
We
that's
can
good.
close
That's a good
down
time.
just long enough to go.
It'll be in about another 10 minutes.
How far behind you gonna have him walk?
He's doing his thing for me. So.
I wish he'd quit.
Looks like it's showtime.
All right. Do you want me to get in front of you?
She's gonna be in her office.
Should we take the main door or the...
I don't know.
We'll take the main door. Let's give it a couple more minutes. Delays. Everything doesn't work out like you expect it to. Would you stop?
How are you all doing?
I'm about to pop the question. Is she done?
Just finishing up on you now.
Wait till I get back, I wanna see it. Actually, for,
But it's a birthday thing you doing?
Actually, I'm going to propose to her in a minute. So,
Oh, man.
that's why I wanted to keep a big secret.
Oh.
How far is she along?
no, they got somebody.
She getting up now.
All of it.
You know, do you know Amy?
Just head back in the back.
Let me give her another 5 minutes. I'll go. Gonna get her now.
Okay, we were waiting.
You don't take the kid yet.
Should I get her out of here?
Yeah.
Amy,
Yeah?
I got a question.